Good morning, Shahn and Helen. Congrats on your new book, The Eight Love Links. Welcome to Yellow Shelf.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
We're so
thanks,
excited to
Joanna.
chat about relationships with you.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Thank you. Look, I know we just spoke about relationships and like as the title on the book says, relationships can definitely be complicated. I would even say some days they can be hard work. But yeah, seriously, congrats on this book. I think it resonated with me and many others. Yeah, relationships need a bit of help occasionally, and I think that's exactly what this book does. So I'm going to hand over to either of you to tell me about what we need to know about the book.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Like just to that comment, I think that's one of the inspirations for the book in the sense where so many people end up in a relationship, but we're never really taught any strategies or methodology around what it's like to be in a relationship or how you can do it best. Like there's business coaches, health coaches, every coach under the sun, but there's not a lot of coaching for relationships.
Yeah. So I guess with that in mind, the eight love links is really like a step-by-step guide to unlocking the amazing benefits of relationships and long-term relationships at that. And so it's really all about self-discovery and discovery in general. So if you like learning about yourself, learning about relationships and dynamics, then it really kind of goes deep into that. So you learn about yourself, you learn about your own stuff that you bring into a relationship, and that of your partner, but also the dynamics and kind of patterns that are playing out in your relationship.
Yeah, and I think kind of probably the other half of the book
Yeah.
is about all the research says and what all after distilling all the research, what we believe are the best strategies to actually go from like how do we undo the knots to how do we make the positive pathways to take the relationship across the relationship lifespan. So there's that dual approach of like let's undo the knots and let's get like these really clear, great kind of strategies moving
Yeah,
forward.
because we want amazing relationships. We don't want like mediocre, yeah, they're fine, kind of
Yeah.
chugging away. We want people to thrive. And we know that relationships can really make or break, your happiness in life or your success as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No. And look, I did acknowledge to you guys. I think I'm aware of so many people who face this in certain points in their life. And I acknowledge to you, it's really can be really hard to get into a couples therapist. I know you're both couples therapists and relationship therapists. You have your own business in Sydney. So you know this stuff and you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I think what's exciting is the book, yeah, is like almost like a guide. You have a complimentary app. Do you want to mention about the app as well? Because when I had a look at that, that looked really impressive. The app's called My Love, Your Love.
Yeah.
Tell us about how the app and the book, because that's exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I guess they're kind of entwined because we actually came up with the couples coaching app first.
Yeah.
And we did that because we created a couples therapy program that, we believe is really pragmatic. It's really practical. It's understand. We wanted to make a couples therapy intervention that was both very deep in terms of helping you understand yourself and your partner, but also very easily understood and very easily applicable. So we're like, okay, well, we can only see so many couples at a time. And also couples therapy is quite expensive. We're like, let's give people an alternative to couples therapy, particularly because we like the eight love links and the app is the same in a sense where we really strongly believe it's for anybody. If you're having a hard time in your relationship, it's for you. If you're having a good time in your relationship, it's for you too, because it's about actually going to another level. But we want to create, I guess, platforms where people could go on, invest in quality time. People say, you got to give your relationship quality time, you got to invest in it. But it's like, okay, how do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, the app and the book kind of shows you
Mm.
how to do all of that.
And I think the app, it's a journey that you can do together. So it's kind of like not necessarily an alternative to traditional couples therapy, but it's something different in itself where you do it together. It's a joint journey. You're not just sitting on your phone, kind of staring at the screen.
Yeah.
Whereas the book offers an option for those people because we got this feedback. We're like, well, what if my partner's not ready to do the app with me and I can't get them to couples therapy?
Yeah.
So the book is like it's kind of its own feature in that sense that you can start this journey on your own.
Yeah.
If your partner's not interested, you can start learning. And the book allows you to focus on, okay, what can I do about these things that are going on in my relationship now?
Absolutely. We do say like the ultimate journey is like each partner reads a chapter, and then like they go, because you're prompted for questions and activities, and you're doing the app as well. Like that's the ultimate journey. But as Helen said,
It's not everyone.
No, and you could be coming out of a relationship and say, what, why do my relationships keep ending in this way? I want to learn more about myself and my ex-partners and understand the dynamics. And you could be single and read the book. That's the wonderful thing about the book.
Yeah. I did read that. That was really good too. Because often, if you're going into that next relationship, it's good to be self-reflective and prepared.
Absolutely.
You want to tell us, I'm really interested. You've got the app, the book comes, you mentioned after feedback. So what inspired you to actually write a book? Is this your first book? Like either of you, like tell us, and maybe tell us about your backgrounds, anything that we haven't covered.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is both of our first books, and we did it together. So it's been an ultimate journey for us because we're married.
Yes.
We're both, we should mention that probably.
Yeah, I should have. I'm sorry.
No, we should have mentioned
it. We're both clinical psychologists, and we're both couples therapists, and we're married. So, we have a wealth of our own personal experience that we draw on, and we really use everything as well. So everything's tried and tested with us, and as well as
all of our clients.
All our clients and everything. So it was our first book, and it was a really interesting process.
I think kind of like to your question, we see in our clinical lives and our personal lives the power of positive relationships, but also, unfortunately, the devastation of negative relationships. And we're not just talking about the two partners, although we're often talking about the two partners, but also the kids of two partners or the parents of two partners or relatives. There's a big kind of flow on, and the research is it's really firm. If you're in a positive relationship, your mental health outcomes are so much better. You're going to have much more positive mental health. But we know if you're in a negative relationship, your risk of major mental illness is really, really high. So part of our mission was we wanted to bring like positive mental health to the world, looking at like how do you get to more of the source rather than just looking, like most treatments are focusing on the symptoms and treating disorders. And we're like, what do we do? What can we do underneath that to kind of like resolve some of that mental health or bring positive mental health before the other dynamics set in, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And just finally, if we're curious about the book, if we're curious about you guys, the app, how do we connect with you? Where do we find you on socials?
Yeah, absolutely. And we love hearing from people about how they're going, what relationship kind of points do they get stuck on? Like we love that, and we're open to feedback on the book as well. And so we are the My Love Your Love social profile is probably the best one. So it's just My Love Your Love app. That's the name of the app, and that's on TikTok and Instagram. So, and we do lots of little bits and pieces on there. We also have a web page just for the book as well, the 8lovelinks.com. So it's pretty easy.
Yeah, and myloveyourlove.com for the app.
Yep.
And you can contact us. Feel free to reach out at hello@myloveyourlove.com also.
Awesome. And we have a newsletter, so if people are interested in that little drip feed, they can totally do that.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like it's super easy to find you and connect. I'll put all that in the show notes to make it really easy.
Awesome.
I admitted to you guys, I haven't read the book. I'm going to read it, and I'm going to give some feedback because I'm in a marriage and I always need work. So I'll read it, and I'll get my husband to read it as well, so we can be part of the feedback cycle.
Absolutely. We love that. Like, everyone has been in a relationship or wants to be in one or is in one. So it's really relatable stuff, we hope, right? We think so.
Well, congratulations, and thanks for joining us here at Yellow Shelf.
Oh,
thanks so much, Joanna.
Cheers.